The first scream was not human. It ripped through the rain like tearing metal, and before you even know who survives and who doesn't, you'll want to stay until the very end of this story. Because what happens next will change how you see courage forever. And if stories of raw bravery, impossible odds, and ordinary people becoming heroes move you even a little, remember to like this video and subscribe, because what you're about to witness is more than a rescue, it's a fight for hope itself. The flood had turned the lowlands into a battlefield. Rice fields and dirt roads were gone, replaced by a churning lake of brown water carrying broken rooftops, twisted debris, and the sharp smell of fear. Sirens wailed somewhere far away, but sound moved strangely here, swallowed by rain and wind. The heroic rescue team arrived in 2 battered boats, engines coughing, headlights slicing through the storm. At the front stood Arun, the team leader. His jaw was clenched, not from the cold, but from responsibility. That morning, he had promised his daughter he would come home. He made the same promise before every mission, and every time, he wondered if this would be the one he couldn't keep. Behind him was Maya, a paramedic whose hands never shook, no matter how bad things became, though her heart always did. She still remembered the flood 3 years ago, the one where she arrived too late to save a trapped family. Every rescue since then was her quiet apology to the past. Ravi, the youngest on the team, worked the radio. He forced calm into his voice while his eyes scanned the water. This was his first major flood operation. Fear sat heavy in his chest, but so did determination. He wanted to prove he belonged here. The call came through in broken fragments. A stranded relief camp, people trapped on a raised embankment near the old canal. And then something else. Villagers screaming about a giant horned python, swept out of the jungle by floodwaters. Most dismissed it as panic. Arun didn't. He had worked long enough to know that when nature is displaced, it doesn't become weaker, it becomes desperate. As they moved deeper into the flooded zone, the water grew eerily still. Trees stood half submerged like drowned giants. The rain softened. The silence was worse than the storm. Then they saw them, 30 villagers huddled together on a muddy embankment barely above water. Children cried softly, parents clutched them close, an old man waved frantically, then pointed toward the reeds. That was when the water moved. Not a ripple, a surge, slow, powerful, as if the flood itself had decided to breathe. The giant horned python emerged. Its massive body coiled through the water, horns cutting a terrifying silhouette against the gray sky. Longer than the rescue boat, thick as a tree trunk, eyes dark and ancient. Panic exploded, people screamed. One man slipped into the water, and instantly, the snake turned. Time fractured. Arun shouted orders. Maya grabbed a rope. Ravi froze, just for half a second, but forced his hands to move. The python struck the water, not to kill, but to warn. Its tail smashed into the embankment, sending mud and people tumbling. Chaos erupted, floodwater, fear, and a creature fighting for survival just as desperately as the humans were. Arun jumped into the water without thinking. The cold stole his breath as he swam toward the struggling man, dangerously close to the snake's coils. The python reacted, wrapping part of its body around a submerged tree, tightening, anchoring itself. Its horned head rose, its mouth opened wide, a silent threat. Arun felt small, fragile, but he didn't stop. He remembered his daughter's laugh, the way she waved from the doorway. He reached the man and shoved him toward the boat, screaming for Maya to pull him in. The snake lunged. Maya screamed Aaron's name, her voice breaking for the first time. Ravi grabbed the flare gun. His hands shook. Training never included the weight of knowing one wrong move could cost a life. He fired. Red fire exploded inches from the python's head. The snake recoiled, hissing, confused by light and sound. It was enough. Water exploded beside Arun as the python thrashed, but Maya's arms locked around him, dragging him into the boat. His lungs burned. His body shook, but he was alive. The monster retreated into the flooded forest, disappearing as suddenly as it had come, leaving only ripples and shattered nerves behind. But the mission wasn't over. The embankment was collapsing. The flood was rising. One by one, the team evacuated the villagers, carrying the elderly, calming terrified children, offering reassurance they themselves desperately needed to hear. Maya worked non-stop, treating wounds, holding hands, whispering, "You're safe now," until it finally became true. As the last boat pulled away, Ravi looked back. He was soaked, exhausted, still trembling, but something inside him had changed. Fear hadn't defeated him, it had taught him what courage really was, not the absence of terror, but the decision to act anyway. Hours later, as dawn broke and the rain finally eased, the team sat in silence. No cheers, no celebration, only relief, heavy and profound. Arun checked his phone. One message waited. "Did you come home yet?" He smiled, eyes wet, and typed back, "On my way." This story isn't just about a rescue team, or a giant horned python. It's about facing chaos, whether it comes as a flood, a fear, or a moment that tests everything you believe about yourself. It's about choosing to help when it's easier to run. Choosing hope when the world feels underwater. If this story moved you, if it reminded you of the strength hidden in ordinary people, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because even in the darkest floods, heroes are often just people who refuse to give up.